Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. On today we have the legendary Ben Gregson. How you doing, Ben?
I wouldn't call me legendary. Let's
But by the standards of this channel, you're legendary.
by the standards of
I'm not sure if that's saying much.
By the standards of this channel being I'm here every 2 months.
Yeah, basically. And you're always bringing something unconventional, shall we say?
This is a bit questionable.
So I think initially my favorite thing about this deck was the number of very cool engines and auto wins that are included. What became my favorite thing about this deck was when you sent it over to me just a minute ago. You just named it Pile, because that's literally what it is.
So my dueling book deck builder at the moment has Pile 1, Pile 2, Pile 3, very powerful Pile, and Pile with Buster Blader. So, yeah.
This is such a crazy deck. I think it's probably worth running through it engine by engine. And thankfully you have laid it out in an engine by engine format, so it's not going to be difficult. Right. Start off with Generaider boss stage, alongside Ha and Utgarda. Is that how you say it? Utgarda?
I don't know, we just call him Dave. We don't pronounce his name anymore.
Dave the big rock boss.
Dave's fucking huge. Dave's the boy.
So a big theme of this deck is the power of some of the field spells that exist, right? And boss stage is just one of these cards that gives you either a free negate or whatever Dave does. What does Dave do? Banish a card.
Yeah, he banishes cards.
Nice. So yeah, boss stage is just here so that you can have an extra negate, basically, right?
Yeah, so the theory on the deck is you play the broken engines, which is the Numeron stuff and the Red-Eyes stuff. But whenever you do those things, you can't actually do anything afterwards, and we didn't think that setting trap cards was powerful enough. So activating Generaider boss stage means we get a negate to protect Zexal, if we go that route. But we also get a banish in the form of Dave for back row matchups, which makes those a lot better. Dave might be the best card in the whole deck.
And then alongside that, the other two generated cards are the trap card that is just Metaverse, right? Does it do anything else? And then your opponent draws a card. Oh, okay.
Then you draw them afterwards. There was a version we played with Trickstar cards where we played Reincarnation because there was a funny interaction between boss fight, Reincarnation, and Draw, where you can draw Reincarnation them. And we were playing a one-of light stage as well, and a Candina and a Reincarnation and a Corobing.
This is so crazy. So because Droll exists and is actually a relevant card again, you just abuse it from this other generator engine.
Yeah, I mean, when I say this just abuses everything, like the deck is literally just abuse all of the broken interactions in the silly game that is YuGiOh, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
And that's how we ended up here. But yeah, boss stage is cool. Yeah. Like obviously boss fight's kind of weird because it gives your opponent a card, which is an additional out to stuff. But when you're activating Utopia's Exile and then they can't do anything afterwards with that extra card, you're usually just winning the game anyway.
Yeah.
Going second, your goal is to mine them, and then because your deck's thicker than theirs, you just deck them out. Because in a game, in today's meta game, what back row removal do you have in your main deck? Because I guarantee it's 0 or Feather Duster.
Yeah, it's never going to be something substantial.
Back row removals in the side deck for a reason, because all decks are combo decks right now.
Yep.
So you literally activating Mystic Mine going second as an auto win. There's been games where I've gone activate Dark Ruler or Droplets, activate Mystic Mine, and my opponent has literally left the game because they can't continue playing.
It happens a lot on DB, yeah. Okay, Generators covered. I'm not sure we really need to talk about the Numeron engine much, except maybe the ratios. Is there anything about the ratios that's especially unusual?
I mean, we're playing, 6, 9, 12 copies of Numeron Network?
Because of the Pathfinder and set rotation terraforming, yeah?
Yeah, Metaverse. So we worked it out that there is a 92% chance that we open with a very unfair card in our 60 card deck, and then there's a 60% chance that we open with 2 of them. Okay. So Numeron Network is the most broken of the silly cards. So we wanted to make our chance of opening Numeron Network the best it could be.
Yeah.
And then we're playing Memories of Hope, because that card's hilarious.
Was it draw 4 or something at that point?
You summon any number of Numerons, and then you draw a card for each number
Each
monster you
name.
control.
Wow. Yeah.
So it literally does just say draw 4. And with the amount of hand traps we're playing, that says draw a bunch of disruption. So, yeah, that's insane as well.
So is there any reason why you're only playing the 2? Because, I mean, you've got the space for it, right? 60 cards. Surely you could fit the third one in.
I'm trying to remember what card we put in for the third one. That we were playing 3. I think it might have been Dave, actually. I think we lost the Memories of Hope in aid of Dave. Yeah, that's where the third one went. You can play 3, but I just like Dave a bit. So.
Well, yeah, if you've got 2 different generators, then your boss stage does a little bit more. Get some extra
you can resolve it twice, and if you resolve it twice, you just win the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those cards. Okay, Pathfinder's covered Mystic Mine. Only 2 Mystic Mine. You said this was your go second, smash their board with it. Any reason why you wouldn't play the third?
Because I'm playing 3 Pathfinder set rotation terraforming the metaverse.
But then you could activate like 4 Mystic. Well, okay, 3. You could activate all 3 Mystic Mine in one turn.
Yeah, but you want to see it sometimes, but not all the time. Yeah, the 2 copy. The third copy never comes up because when you activate the first one, you usually win the game, and then they negate the first one.
Then
and then they either get punished by a second one, or they get punished by the card in the bottom right hand of the deck list.
I don't want to spoil that one yet. We're gonna get onto it. That one's the exciting one. Okay, we've got more field spell searches, and then we've got a very synced Dogmatika engine of just 777, 1 Ecclesia, 1 Punishment. How do you feel about this?
I mean, the Deer Servant's broken, the rest of the cards are bad, but we wanted to play the Deer.
You don't like Punishment? Is it just the lock out the extra deck?
I mean, like, whenever you activate Punishment, you're just, like, popping a card, right? When you just want to lock them out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, the issue with playing, like, tons of Dogmatika cards is if you're doing Dogmatika stuff, you're not doing the thing your deck wants to do, right?
Yeah, none of it's auto-win.
Yeah, it's not like Invoked Dogmatika, where our win condition is literally just like, I'm going to lock you out for a turn and then punch you with Macabre and 2 guys.
Yeah.
It's you literally cannot play the game, and the Deer Servant is a follow-up.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Then we've got the Red-Eyes engine. I really like the Wyvern. The inclusion of this card is just so busted.
We don't talk about Wyvern because I draw it too much.
What?
I draw Wyvern in 60 like it's my job. Sometimes it comes up where you like normal summon Wyvern as a beat stick.
Ooh,
this has come
1800.
Up 1800 is huge.
I remember when it was first printed, and that was like a huge deal. And then people were like, "Actually, it's not that good," because at the time, Red Eyes just had nothing.
And now it brings back Dragoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it brings back like one of the best boss monsters in the game.
Dragoon is possibly the most broken card ever printed.
But now we are into the hand trap lineup. So you've got the I'm not going to question the ones that I think are really obvious, which is Gamma, Nibiru, Drollock. What I do want to know is how are you finding the Veilers and the Imperms? First of all,
I mean,
how good is one-off effect negation right now?
I mean, it's just okay, right?
Is it mostly here just to protect your Zexal, right? That's kind of the thing I imagine.
I mean, they're there because I had room. And
you need to run hand traps.
In a 60-card deck, you want to draw your hand traps, right?
Yeah.
And these are just the best ones. I don't like Ogre, I don't like Bell, I don't like Ghost Mourner. All of those cards. There was a time where I wasn't playing Effect Veiler and I was playing Token Collector in the main deck. There's also been times where I've main deck Lancia. They just all sort of interchange and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean the format just... Every time the format changes again, you just change your hand trap lineup, right? Make it whatever fits the most matchups.
But Veiler and Imperm are good against, like, the problem decks, which are Buster Blader, weirdly enough.
You shouldn't have popularized that deck.
There's lots of people that were playing it at the same time as me. It wasn't just me.
Okay.
But like, there's a guy called NKLS11 who deserves a massive shout out for that sort of stuff. He's been #1 on Dueling Book for the last 2 formats with Buster Blader. He's somebody that I've discussed it a lot with, and he's popularized the deck way more than I have. It's just become an engine now.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot in the LCS this weekend as well.
Yeah. So you just like imperm the Buster Dragon, and then the fusion doesn't do anything.
No, don't reveal the weakness of this strategy.
the deck itself is its own weakness, right? Once people know about it, it's worse.
That's true. Yeah.
That's why I'm playing another bad deck that people don't know about, and then they'll eventually catch on in about 6 months.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, an imperm again.
Yeah. That's the hand trap lineup. I mean, I'm just gonna ignore Ash because I think it's relevant for the kind of formats you've been playing, which is winner boxes and singles. I think Ash is really relevant there.
Yeah, I mean, Ash is really good against Dinosaur, right? Which is another reason you're playing the card.
Yeah, exactly. But let's get on to the really exciting ones. So the last 2 cards in the deck are Witch's Strike. And when this card was first announced and first printed, I think everyone looked at this and went, Nah, I'm not gonna play that. Nah, it's gonna be a high rarity print and no one's gonna buy it. And I'm pretty sure it was like a 3 quid secret or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to when your opponent negates the normal or special summon of a monster or the activation of a card or effect, you destroy all cards your opponent controls and in their hand. I don't know how much you guys have been watching the recent format, but there are quite a lot of negates out now.
I mean, your opponent goes Gamma effect in response to your Zexal, and you go, I have a response, and you blow up their entire hand.
Yeah.
Or you play against Dragon Link, you let them do whatever they want, they get to Herald, and you're like, I have a response here, and they're like, ha ha ha, Herald, and I'm like, ha ha ha, Witch's Strike, and then their entire, 9-card hand goes to the grave, and...
Yeah.
Witch's Strike is by far one of the most ridiculous cards printed, and nobody seems to look at it. But I was going through my Megatons, because I've won a bunch of Megatons over the course of quarantine, and I was reading a bunch of cards, and I was like, oh, this got reprinted in Ultra. Wait, this is good. Yeah.
Pick up your playsets now.
I think I have 9 copies if you want to message me on Facebook. But yeah, Witch's Strike is broken. Lewis first turned me onto the card when we played in the YOS 3v3. Me and Lewis were both on this card. Because Adamancipator would do their big thing. And they would be like, cool, set 4 and have a multi-figure in hand. And you'd compulse their Savage Dragon, and they'd be like,
no.
Nah. And then you'd be like, haha. And then they'd lose. And then you go, Faker effect.
So dumb.
Your whole board's gone, and I've just summoned a level 3 that summons a monster from the deck.
So before we get onto the extra deck, let's talk about some of the success that you've had with this list. So you've won 2 winner boxes with this list, right?
Indeed.
And it's been proving really well on singles as well?
Yeah. So I'm currently top 30 on Dueling Book singles. I know Dueling Book singles doesn't mean a lot to some people, but it's the only platform I can play because I work a lot now. So
yeah. And have you seen any other players competing in similar formats with the same or similar lists?
There's a guy called Silenced and a couple other guys in Team Synergy that have been playing a very, very, very similar list to me.
Okay.
They're the guys that I've been talking to sort of co-build this stuff. But I was the one that included Witch's Strike, therefore.
Add your own little bit of spice to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
There's 9 different versions of this deck floating around.
Well, I imagine there are going to be a lot when you got so many engines shoved together to make this.
Well, it's you play the engines and then you just put some other cards in. I've decided to go the hand trap route. There's some people that are playing trap cards, some people that are playing Buster Blader engines, some people that have got half the kitchen sink in their deck.
Why not?
Yeah.
If you're gonna play up to 60, you may as well include everything you want.
Yeah, I mean, we originally called this deck the kitchen sink, and then yeah.
And now it's the pile.
Mhm.
Okay, onto the extra deck then. So, you've got a. Do we call it Ntus or are we calling it Nets?
I don't know what you call it, mate.
I don't
I
know.
just call it the thing that pops stuff.
I hear both.
Uh,
Yeah, it's the fusion gal channeling the water. The Rafflesia. Is this is so you can send off punishment as well, right? Or send off the servant.
what
Oh,
the
it's off the
mirror of
servant.
future?
Yeah,
Yeah, you send it off servant or punishment, and it just adds Red-Eyes Fusion for a follow-up.
yeah. That's a bit crazy. I'd like to search my OTK piece, please.
Yeah, it's just I like Red-Eyes Fusion. Let me add it to my hand in additional 3 ways.
Yep. And then obviously the big daddy, the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon.
Mm-hmm.
Omega, is this just like because it's the only card that you can send off Nadir and get you some recycling in, and then you can start summoning Dragoon again?
I also play Gamma.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's fair. Hand looping is nice.
Yeah, sometimes you like resolve Gamma and then resolve Lancia in the same turn. And your Gamma and your driver gets stuck there. It happens way more than it should.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then Numeron package. The one Megaclops and the one Anaconda. I don't think there's anything like crazy in the extra deck, right?
Yeah, that Megaclops can recycle Zexal.
Ooh, that's nice.
Because once Zexal's in the graveyard, you can use Megaclops to target a card your opponent controls and stick it under Zexal. So your opponent thinks you're out of Zexals, and then you do it to them again.
Cool, yeah. And side deck, we've got the Lancers you mentioned. I think these have become way more important since the Rise of Dinosaur again.
Yeah, almost main deck worthy at this point.
Yeah. Then we've got Droplet, Break the Boards, Lava Golem. Interesting, right? Because you don't have to. A lot of your deck you don't have to summon on your turn. You don't have to
normal summon other than Planet Pathfinder, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you just give them Lava Golem and then activate Numeron Network, and you just win the game.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. Pancratops applies way too much pressure. And the last hand trap is one you've already mentioned, the Token Collector, which obviously was a lot more impactful in previous formats, and I suppose just comes in every now and again because there are certain decks that just cannot handle this still.
I mean, Infernoble do the whole Cult Wing, VFD, right?
Yeah.
And you just go Token Collector, and then the tokens are gone, and then they're left with a Despot 001 and a Mecha Phantom Beast guy.
Yeah.
Can't do anything with that.
That's not your engine. Those are machines.
Yeah, exactly. And like, Token Collector's good against Dragon Link because they do the whole Link Cross, and then they can't make Herald. So you're just like, ooh, Token Collector. There's also a material for Anaconda. Ooh.
Yeah. Anything that can go into Anaconda is nice.
Yeah, there was a time where we were literally just playing Nibiru and Token Collector because it gave us an additional body.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's talk about matchups you faced for the 2 Winterbox events.
So across both events, it was 3 Dragon Link, 4 Infernoble, 2 Subterra Numeron, and 2 Altergeist.
2 Geist. There's more than just Lewis out there.
There is more than just Lewis and Oliver Newton. Yeah.
Okay, and were any of these matches especially difficult, or any of the decks, a bigger challenge than the rest?
So I 2-0'd every Infernoble. I lost 1 game to Dragon Link because the guy opened possibly the best hand I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He opened Gamma for my Zexal, Imperm for Ha, and then Chaos Space Red MD.
Wow.
Like, literally the only hand that stops the Generator plus Zexal thing.
Yeah.
And then full combos and kills me. So I lost 1 game to that. I lost 1 game to Geist because Imperm Faker is very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't lose to any of the Subterra Numeron thing because they're just the inferior Numeron deck.
Yeah, I guess you can start saying that now. This is the
They
ultimate
are.
Numeron deck.
Well, this deck was originally a Subterra deck. It was just 60 cards, Subterra, Numeron, Generator, all the things you can fit in.
Yeah.
But the only way that deck worked was with Hidden City and only Hidden City, because you couldn't just set Guru and pass, because your opponent's probably going to kill you.
Yeah. So, in terms of the siding strategy, Would you just take out a specific engine? Like, would you just take out the Dogmatika engine or something? Or would
Yeah,
you take
yeah.
out
Like
just...
every time you side, the Dogmatica engine gets yeeted as far as you possibly can. Like Nadir
Not
7's not
relevant.
even good.
Yeah.
So you just take out Nadir 7 Metaverse and then the Generator trap cards, and you just put in all your good going second cards, and you're like, woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how it works.
And there's nothing... Is there anything here in the side deck that you'd want to bring in when you're going first for particular matchups? Like, would you maybe change some of your hand traps?
Yeah, so going first, we take out Nibiru and we take out Droll and we replace it with Lancia and Forbidden Droplets for most things.
Okay.
It's like Nibiru and Droll are super high impact going second, but they do absolutely nothing going first.
Yeah.
So you sat there looking at a 3k beat stick like I'll summon this in 4 turns when I'm eventually at the point of tribute summoning.
Yeah, and if anything about the recent events has told us the future, then if you summon a Nibiru, someone's just going to summon an Uka in their turn and search for an effect failure off this and carry on playing their turn.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, like, if you get Nibiru nowadays, I think our only out to actually our opponent having a 3k beat stick is Dave.
Yeah.
Other than summoning Dragoon. But, like, that's why boss stage is so cool, right? Because it's just additional utility and being able to out big things is our way of dealing with it. I don't think I've actually been Nibiru'd once playing this, though.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what part of my deck actually summons 5 times?
Yeah, nothing.
Unless you're resolving
don't
Network for 4 and then summoning Zexal.
Or
That is the only...
what about if you summon the Megaclops and then summon back your Zexal? Does that do it?
You can't do that in the same turn.
Oh, you can't?
No, because if you resolve Numeron Calling...
Oh, then you only get one more
once.
summon, yeah.
So then you do it on the next turn,
So
because
there's not
no
even
deck
that.
can out Megaclops. Weird.
Cool. So are there any changes that you'd make to this list?
Take out one engine, put in another.
Yeah. Literally it. It's like, oh, take out these 5, take out this 9 or whatever.
Yeah. So this version of deck building is like proper Ben Gregson deck building, as I've called it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can adjust it to any format and you can play it in any way you want. It's quite, refreshing, shall we say?
Yeah.
So
It's a nice way to take it.
Yeah, I mean, there's versions where we don't play Pathfinder and we play Trickstar cards. There's versions where we don't play Generaider and we play Hidden City and all the bad Guru cards. There's there's a blind second version that's on triple Lightning Storm, Raigeki, and triple Evenly Matched. That deck's cool.
Ooh.
I'd like to mention, for the first winner box, I was playing a singular copy of Oja Muscle instead of Pancratops in the side deck.
What does Oja Muscle even do?
If you control Ojama King, you can target Ojama King, summon back the 3 Ojamas, and they all gain 3k.
Why were you playing that?
I lost a bet.
Fair enough.
It's worth mentioning, I guess.
Yeah,
Technically,
it was different.
If it's about the top decks in Europe, technically a top deck in Europe did play Oja Muscle for one whole event.
Wow. That one of these versions of the list will be available in the description for you guys to download and test out on DB. I haven't got anything else to say. Have you got any shout-outs you want to make, Ben?
Shout out to Silenced and all the guys over in the Syndicate Discord. Shout out to the Hobby Vault, and shout out to the DB Grinder and his Clout event that's going on. And also, if you want to support charity, make sure to support Joe's YOS tournament. I'll be taking part. I'll probably be playing something similar to this.
Woo! So you've heard it here. You can now side deck to beat Ben.
Have fun with that. I think MST is actually a good card to side against.
I'm going to play Typhoon against you.
Low key, actually scared of Typhoon.
Cool, thanks very much. Don't forget, guys, head over to Ben's own YouTube channel, Dilemma. There's also a link for that in the description as well. Thanks very much for coming on, Ben. Congratulations on your double back-to-back Winnerbox wins. And anyone who's watching, let us know what you think about this list. Give it a go on DB, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Have a good day. Bye.